Kent played host to 3 major hoverports during the time of the cross-channel hovercraft, 2 in Dover and 1 near Ramsgate. The first, at Dover's eastern docks, opened in 1968 and catered to the original fleet of SRN4s. Located directly next to the car ferries, the terminal was integrated into the rest of the vehicular transport at Dover. It was a small building and was serviced by the 2 Seaspeed craft, the Princess Margaret and the Princess Anne. Services originally ran across the channel to Boulogne and later to Calais in 1970. Owing to the expansion of traffic across the channel, as well as the logistics of hovercraft simply meaning that a larger craft is more efficient, 2 SRN4s were stretched to Mark III starting in 1976, and the original Dover hoverport could no longer cope. Kent's second hoverport was at Pegwell Bay near Ramsgate and opened in 1969. While it was originally agreed that both Seaspeed and Hoverloyd would operate from this port, Seaspeed withdrew, and so Hoverloyd operated the port alone. Their services were operated with the 2 craft Swift and Shaw. There were many difficulties in the construction of the site, mainly coming from both Pegwell Bay's status as an area of special scientific interest as well as significant pushbacks from the local residents. Once these concerns had been passed, the site was constructed and opened in a shockingly quick 9 months. The hoverport at Pegwell Bay was fortunate in its ability to handle larger traffic volumes as its out-of-town status, along with quick connections to London, made it a destination of choice for many. Eventually, the hoverport closed to passengers due to the merger of Hoverloyd with Seaspeed in 1981. Which led to the new Hoverspeed operating from Dover Western Hoverport from 1982. This wasn't the end of Pegwell Bay Hoverport, as technical and maintenance functions were transferred here, and the Dover Western Hoverport was able to focus on revenue operations. The third Kentish hoverport, Dover Western Hoverport, opened in 1978. It was much delayed due to the standard stormy weather in Dover, but coincided with the introduction of the Mark III SRN4 hovercraft, which required its much larger landing pad. This new hoverport originally serviced Seaspeed flights, but by 1981, Hoverloyd and Seaspeed's merger meant that Hoverspeed held the monopoly as the only remaining operator in Kent. The Western Hoverport in Dover is in fact the Kentish hoverport that had the most history. It was the place where the Prince of Wales caught fire in 1993. It is also where the Sir Christopher remained from its withdrawal in 1991 until its breaking up in 2005. From 1991 onwards, this hoverport was only serviced by the stretched Mark III SRN4s, and ironically for a hoverport, also Seacat catamarans from 1993. These Seacats nearly killed out the hovercraft in 1991, but they triumphantly trundled onwards. In 1993, the hovercraft service to Boulogne was killed in favour of Seacats from Folkestone. A service to Ostend from the hoverport, but via Seacat, was started in 1998, and this lasted until 2003. But the last hovercraft service from the hoverport ended in 2000. The hoverport was used until 2005 for various other Seacat services and has since been left abandoned and finally redeveloped. Since the 3 hoverports were abandoned, lots has changed. The Dover Eastern Hoverport was subsumed into the rest of Dover Eastern Docks and is no longer recognisable or even discernible from above. Dover's Western Hoverport lasted much longer, but by 2017 it also fell victim to the march of redevelopment and is now part of Dover's new cargo terminals and marinas. Pegwell Bay Hoverport was even more unfortunate than its 2 Dover contemporaries. Left to its own devices after being demolished at the end of the 80s, the pad became overgrown but left in place. To this day, the pad remains with its markings as a sad reminder of what once was and what we won't see again.